Welcome back, coin enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the world of a coin so small in size, but so massive in value. It might just change how you look at everyday change forever. That's right, we're uncovering the most valuable and expensive 5-cent coins in Australian history, spanning different years, mint conditions, and levels of rarity that are sparking major demand in today's collector's market. You might think a 5-cent coin is just pocket filler, but let me tell you, some of these pieces are now worth hundreds and even thousands of dollars. They're rare, they're historic, and they're rising in value by the day. So if you've got a jar of old change sitting at home or an album full of forgotten coins, stay tuned, because you might be holding onto a small fortune. Let's get started. First up, the 5-cent Australian coin from the year 1989. Worn from decades of use, darkened by time and touch, the coin in black circulated condition may seem insignificant. But don't be fooled. This coin carries a hidden weight of value, history, and opportunity. It might just be the silent hero of your collection, and possibly a ticket to future wealth. Let's start with its design, a subtle masterpiece of Australian symbolism. The reverse of the 1989 5-cent coin was designed by the great Stuart Devlin, a man celebrated for shaping the very face of Australia's modern coinage. His artwork features the short-beaked echidna, a shy and mysterious monotreme native to Australia, curled protectively around itself. Despite its size, the design is incredibly detailed. Quills, paws, and even the small, snout-like nose are captured with precision. In black circulated condition, much of the luster may have faded, but the depth and dignity of this artwork still shine through, a testament to Australia's rich biodiversity and the creativity of its minting era. The obverse side of the coin bears the image of Queen Elizabeth II, as rendered by sculptor Raphael Maklauf. This portrait, used on Australian coins from 1985 to 1998, presents a regal and mature monarch crowned and facing right, with the inscription Elizabeth II Australia 1989. The Maklauf effigy remains one of the most recognizable and respected in Australia's coin history. While coins in circulated condition, especially those with black or dull coloration, often lose some fine details, the monarch's likeness typically remains legible, giving even a worn coin a strong visual identity and historical significance. When it comes to specifications, the 1989 5-cent coin follows the classic Australian decimal blueprint. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel, copper-nickel. Diameter: 19.41 millimeters. Thickness: 1.30 millimeters. Weight: 2.83 grams. Edge: reeded. These specs may seem modest, but they represent a coin built to last, a coin that could withstand time, transaction after transaction. And the black patina often seen on circulated examples is more than dirt. It's a visual marker of age, authenticity, and the unique journey that coin has taken through Australian life. But what truly sets the 1989 edition apart is its growing appeal in the collector's market. At first glance, it may not appear to be a rare coin. After all, approximately 65 million were minted that year. But here's the twist. Very few of those have survived in collectible condition, and even fewer in their original form without being melted down, lost, or heavily damaged. As Australia slowly moved into the digital age and currency usage shifted, the circulation of small denominations like the 5-cent piece began to decline. The result? Coins like the 1989 5-cent are now increasingly hard to find, especially ones with distinct features like coloration anomalies or minting errors. Speaking of which, error coins from this year are particularly exciting. A small number of 1,989 5-cent coins have been discovered with striking errors, including off-center strikes, die cracks, clip planchets, and double obverse. These errors, when authenticated, can increase a coin's value dramatically, often reaching up to $150 or more, depending on the severity and clarity of the error. Even coins with unusual coloring, such as deep black patinas caused by oxidation, improper storage, or minting metal inconsistencies, are becoming collector curiosities and can fetch premium prices in private sales and auctions. In the current market, a 1989 5-cent coin in very fine, circulated condition typically sells for between $1 and $3 AUD. However, Coins with distinct black coloration, clear detail, or notable surface conditions can push into the $5 to $10 range. And if your coin is in uncirculated or mint state, it could be worth $20 to $40 or more, especially when professionally graded. The value only climbs higher with certified mint errors or proof-like striking qualities. For a coin that started life as a humble 5-cent piece, the financial leap is remarkable, and the potential is very real. What makes this coin even more fascinating is its sentimental and historical value. 1989 was the close of a decade that shaped modern Australia, the rise of global trade, shifts in social identity, and cultural momentum. Coins minted during this time reflect that transition. The 5-cent piece, often overlooked, became part of millions of daily lives, from vending machines to schoolyard trades. And now, decades later, these tiny relics are being recognized for what they are: powerful pieces of national heritage. Collectors around the world are now chasing complete year sets, specific mint marks, and rare conditions of Australian decimals, especially the Maclouf-era coins. The 1989 5-cent, as part of this category, is increasingly being scooped up by savvy investors and numismatists who know its future potential. Its value lies not only in its scarcity, but in its underrated presence, a coin that flew under the radar for years and is now being rediscovered. The 1989 Australian 5-cent coin, even in its black circulated condition, is no longer just a coin. It is a time capsule, a symbol of durability, and most importantly, a hidden gem in the vast ocean of decimal coinage. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner holding on to it by chance, you may be looking at a small piece of silver-toned metal that's worth far more than its face value. It's a reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest surprises, and this little 5-cent coin might just be your millionaire-making miracle in disguise. Next up, the 1998 Australian 5-cent coin, with a story rich in design, collector value, and potentially game-changing worth. If you're holding this coin, even in circulated condition, you could be holding a true numismatic gem that's steadily climbing in both demand and dollar value. Let's begin with the design, a national icon that has remained untouched for decades because of its elegance and symbolism. The reverse of the 1998 5-cent coin showcases the enigmatic short-beaked echidna, one of only 2 egg-laying mammals in the world and a species found almost exclusively in Australia. With its spiny back and tucked-in claws, the echidna forms a circular design that fits snugly within the coin's borders, emphasizing protection, mystery, and nature's delicate strength. This intricate piece was the work of Stuart Devlin, the official goldsmith to Queen Elizabeth II, and one of Australia's most celebrated coin designers. Even in circulated condition, many of these coins still preserve traces of Devlin's exquisite detail, especially around the eyes, nose, and spine of the echidna, making each surviving piece a tiny sculpture in metal. On the obverse, we find the distinguished profile of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Raphael Maclouf, a portrait that graced Australian coinage from 1985 until 1998. That makes the 1998 5-cent coin the last year to carry this regal and recognizable effigy, before the introduction of the Ian Rank Broadley portrait in 1999. This seemingly minor detail gives the 1998 issue historical significance, marking the end of an artistic era. The Queen is shown wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, with the legend Elizabeth II Australia 1998 encircling the portrait, a design appreciated both for its classical balance and its sense of royal continuity. As for technical specifications, the 1998 5-cent coin was struck to the standard that defines Australian decimals. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel, copper-nickel. Diameter: 19.41 millimeters. Weight: 2.83 grams. Thickness: 1.30 millimeters. Edge: reeded. Shape: round. Mint: Royal Australian Mint, Canberra. With mintage figures sitting at around 74 million, the 1998 edition was by no means rare in its day. But here's where things get interesting. Unlike high-value commemorative coins, regular circulating pieces like the 1998 5-cent are often heavily used, tossed aside, or eventually melted down. Today, finding one in good shape, let alone with minimal wear, is increasingly uncommon. Even more so are those with striking anomalies, errors, or preserved luster. And that's what makes this coin a collector's stealth investment. In the circulated condition you mentioned, especially if the coin has turned darker or dull silver from oxidation and wear, but still maintains visible design elements. The current market value ranges from $1 to $4 depending on the clarity and surface preservation. However, those with cleaner surfaces, sharper edges, or any signs of minting errors are in higher demand and can fetch prices between $8 and $20 AUD. Now imagine if your 1998 coin has an error variant, such as a die clash, off-center strike, cut mark, or double obverse. Coins like that have sold for $50, $100, or even $250 depending on severity and grading, with many quietly slipping through private collections and eBay listings without making headlines. It's also worth noting that collectors now chase this coin for two major reasons. First, because it's the final Maklauf portrait year, giving it extra historical context. And second, because modern 5-cent coins are likely to be phased out in the near future. As Australia moves toward a more digital and cashless society, the smaller denominations are under scrutiny. That looming reality has supercharged collector interest in 5-cent coins, particularly those with low populations in good condition. Suddenly, coins like the 1998 issue are more than just metal, they're artifacts of a disappearing era. Add to that the emotional weight of personal nostalgia, and you've got a perfect storm for rising value. Many Australians who grew up in the 1990s and early 2000s now collect coins not for investment alone, but for memory, identity, and cultural heritage. That surge in generational collecting is helping push up demand for once common coins like the 1998 5-cent, especially when found in decent circulated condition with a story to tell and age to show. The 1998 Australian 5-cent coin, despite its size and modest appearance, stands tall in today's numismatic world. It marks the end of an era, carries the designs of two great artists, and hides within its small circular form a growing collector value. Even in circulated condition, even with a little blackening from time, your coin could be a sleeping giant, a tiny treasure with the potential to grow in value with every passing year. So don't underestimate it, don't spend it, and don't let it go unnoticed. This could be your millionaire maker in miniature, a reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest power in the world of coins. Next up, the humble 5-cent Australian coin from 2002 shine quietly in their own way, overlooked, underappreciated, and yet packed with powerful potential. These coins may be small, but they carry within them the DNA of a nation's history, artistic heritage, and hidden value. And when found in very fine condition, they become far more than just spare change. They become collectible assets, hidden in drawers and piggy banks, that could one day be worth a small fortune. So if you've got a 2002 Australian 5-cent coin in your collection, now is the time to take a closer look, because this unassuming coin is gaining value, gaining interest, and gaining momentum in today's collector market. Let's start with the design, a timeless visual that has remained constant for decades, not because of lack of innovation, but because of its perfect representation of Australian wildlife. The reverse of the 2002 5-cent coin proudly displays the short-beaked echidna, an ancient and mysterious monotreme found only in Australia. The echidna's spiny back curls into the shape of a protective dome, encircling its hidden face and claws, a masterwork of natural geometry and defense. This iconic design, crafted by the legendary Stuart Devlin, has stood the test of time since 1966. On the 2002 edition, the strike quality was strong and consistent, so in very fine condition, the detail on the echidna's nose, quills, and paws still emerges with crisp clarity. It's a design that manages to be both biologically accurate and artistically poetic, perfectly capturing the mystery of Australia's wilderness. On the obverse, we see the refined and realistic image of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait was introduced in 1999 and features a more mature representation of the monarch than previous designs. The Queen is shown facing right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, and surrounded by the words Elizabeth II, Australia, 2002. Rank Broadley's portrait was known for its lifelike accuracy and strong presence, which balances beautifully with the natural wonder on the reverse. Even in circulated, very fine condition, the Queen's profile remains sharp and dignified, proof of the high-quality minting standards upheld at the Royal Australian Mint. Now let's look at the specifications that define the 2002 5-cent coin. Composition: 75% copper, 25% nickel, copper-nickel. Diameter: 19.41 millimeters. Thickness: 1.30 millimeters. Weight: 2.83 grams. Edge: reeded. Shape: round. Minted by Royal Australian Mint, Canberra. With a mintage figure of approximately 84 million, the 2002 5-cent coin is considered relatively common at first glance. However, quantity alone doesn't tell the full story. Over time, countless 5-cent coins are removed from circulation due to damage, loss, and the natural process of currency retirement. And most of the coins that survive do so in worn, low-grade condition. That's what makes very fine specimens from 2002 increasingly harder to come by, and increasingly valuable. With sharp details, minimal scratches, and a preserved finish, these better-condition examples are now being sought by collectors trying to complete decade sets, grade runs, or find high-end examples of every portrait series. Another factor driving demand for the 2002 coin is the rise in error variety awareness. While the 2002 coin doesn't have a widely known major error like the famous 2004 double obverse, minor minting flaws such as die cracks, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and off-center strikes have been reported. These variations, when authenticated, can fetch anywhere from $50 to $300 Australian dollars depending on severity and rarity. What was once seen as a flaw is now regarded as a minting marvel, and collectors are racing to find these anomalies before they disappear into private collections forever. So, what is the current market value of a standard 2002 5-cent coin in very fine condition? Typically, you can expect a market value of $1 to $3 Australian dollars, depending on the visibility of fine details and overall surface quality. However, coins that approach uncirculated or mint state condition can command $10 to $20 Australian dollars or more, especially if slabbed and graded. Proof or mint set versions, packaged by the Royal Australian Mint for collectors, can climb even higher, reaching $30 to $70 Australian dollars depending on demand. But here's where the millionaire-making potential really comes in. Australia is now openly discussing the retirement of the 5-cent coin altogether. The rising costs of production, paired with a rapidly digitizing economy, have put small denomination coins on the chopping block. And when that moment comes, collectors will race to secure pristine year sets, error examples, and historical outliers, just like the 2002 edition. Coins that are already rare and high condition will explode in value as availability shrinks and demand skyrockets. Finally, let's not forget the emotional and historical value of this coin. The year 2002 marked the beginning of a new millennium's second chapter, a time when Australia was evolving rapidly in technology, culture, and currency. Holding a 2002 5-cent coin is like holding a snapshot of that transformation, especially as we now move into an era where cash is slowly becoming obsolete. For many, these coins represent childhood memories, everyday purchases, and a way of life that's fading fast. That sentiment adds a layer of personal significance, the kind that collectors deeply value. The 2002 Australian 5-cent coin, in very fine condition, is more than a piece of metal. It's a living artifact, a silent storyteller, and a future prize in the ever-growing world of modern numismatics. Whether it's the sharp echidna design, the finality of copper-nickel currency, or the possibility of hidden minting errors, this little coin has all the ingredients of a future classic. It may not look like a jackpot at first glance, but tucked away in your collection, it could become a coin that delivers huge returns when you least expect it. In the world of coins, sometimes small really is mighty, and the 2002 5-cent coin is a shining example of that powerful truth. Next up, the 2004 Australian 5-cent coin, a small yet powerful piece of national heritage that is turning heads and capturing hearts in the world of serious coin collecting, especially when found in excellent condition. Let's begin with its stunning design. one of the most iconic and enduring in Australian decimal currency. On the reverse, you'll find the beloved short-beaked echidna, curled up in its natural defense pose, its spines radiating outward like a starburst. This image, designed by the legendary Stuart Devlin, is more than just a creature. It's a symbol of Australia's unique and ancient wildlife. Even though this reverse design has remained unchanged since 1966, each year brings subtle minting differences, and the 2004 version is particularly clean, bold, and sharply struck. In excellent condition, you'll see every detail of the echidna's quills, claws, and snout, preserved with a precision that elevates this coin from simple currency to miniature sculpture. On the obverse, we find the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II, as sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. This portrait, introduced in 1999, gives us a mature, dignified image of the monarch, complete with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. Surrounding her profile are the inscriptions, Elizabeth II Australia 2004, which are crisp and clear in higher-grade examples. Rank Broadley's design was praised for its realistic depiction, and on this 5-cent coin, it provides a beautiful contrast to the wildlife-themed reverse. Together, both sides showcase the balance of nature and royalty, a theme deeply woven into Australia's cultural and coinage legacy. Now, let's talk specifications, because this coin, though small, was crafted with enduring precision. Denomination, 5 cents. Composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, copper-nickel. Diameter, 19.41 millimeters. Weight, 2.83 grams. Thickness, 1.30 millimeters. Edge, reeded. Minted by Royal Australian Mint. Finish, standard circulation strike, but sought after in excellent or proof-like condition. The 2004 edition had a circulation mintage of 71.4 million, making it a moderately high production year. But what separates this year from the rest is a rare and mysterious minting error that has made the 2004 5-cent coin one of the most talked about in recent collector circles, the double obverse error. In a limited number of cases, coins were mistakenly struck with two obverse sides, both showing Queen Elizabeth II's portrait and completely lacking the echidna reverse. These error coins are incredibly rare and have sold for upwards of $3,000 to $5,000 in auctions and private sales. They're considered one of the holy grails of modern Australian coin errors. Even without such a dramatic error, the excellent condition of a 2004 5-cent coin still adds significant value. In the general collector market, a circulated example might only fetch face value, but in top condition, with clear features, minimal contact marks, and glossy luster, values quickly jump. Coins graded at uncirculated or MS65 and above can command $20 to $50 Australian dollars, especially if they show clean fields and full detail. Proof strikes or mint set coins from this year can reach higher still, valued anywhere from $80 to $150 Australian dollars, particularly in sealed packaging or with PCGS/NGC certification. There's also a rising wave of demand among modern error hunters and low-mintage collectors. The 5-cent coin, once seen as a boring filler piece, is now a hotbed for subtle anomalies, die cracks, rim cuts, broad strikes, and rotated dies, especially for mid-2000s issues like 2004. These error varieties often go unnoticed by casual spenders, but are eagerly sought after by specialists who know that just one rare mistake could transform a tiny coin into a life-changing jackpot. Another element driving up interest is the speculation that the 5-cent coin may be discontinued in the coming decade. As Australia steadily embraces a digital economy and the cost of minting small denomination coins rises, the government may decide to phase out 5-cent pieces altogether. If that happens, modern issues like the 2004 coin, especially those in pristine condition, will see a massive spike in demand as collectors scramble to secure complete year sets and rare variants before they disappear forever. Let's not forget the emotional and nostalgic value. For many Australians, coins like the 2004 5-cent represent memories, schoolyard swaps, vending machines, the humble jingles in a pocket. These emotional ties make people want to collect not just for profit, but for heritage, and that sentiment adds an invisible premium that only grows with time. The 2004 Australian 5-cent coin, in excellent condition, is more than a small disc of copper nickel. It's a symbol of precision design, royal legacy, native wildlife, and the unpredictable magic of minting. It stands at the intersection of modern history and future rarity, and whether you own a standard strike, a brilliant error, or a proof specimen, you may be holding one of the most underappreciated investment opportunities in all of Australian coinage. This isn't just pocket change, it's potential, it's possibility. And yes, it may very well be the millionaire maker you never saw coming. Next up, the 2008 Australian 5-cent coin, a sleek, compact marvel that, when found in excellent condition, could quietly become one of the most valuable modern coins in your entire collection. This isn't just about face value. This is about design brilliance, historical continuity, and a growing collector obsession with coins that most people wouldn't give a second glance. Let's begin with the design, which is nothing short of classic Australian excellence. The reverse of the 2008 5-cent coin features the much-loved short-beaked echidna, a spiny, egg-laying mammal that's uniquely native to Australia. Curled defensively into itself, the echidna's spines radiate outward, creating a beautifully symmetrical and nature-inspired pattern that wraps around the coin's entire surface. This intricate design was created by Stuart Devlin, one of Australia's most revered coin artists, whose work continues to stand the test of time. Even after decades of use, the 2008 edition holds up with remarkable clarity when in excellent condition. You can see the fine etching of the echidna's quills, the texture of its paws, and the proud curve of its snout, all perfectly framed in circular harmony. It's not just a coin, it's a tiny wildlife sculpture. On the obverse, we find the highly regarded portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. This fourth effigy of the Queen is known for its realism and commanding presence. The Queen is depicted wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, her mature features clearly visible with confident depth. Encircling her image are the inscriptions, Elizabeth II Australia 2008, a statement of sovereignty, tradition, and global continuity. In excellent condition, this obverse retains its sharp relief, and the Queen's likeness appears clean, stately, and unblemished, a hallmark of precise minting and careful handling. Let's now dive into the technical specifications, the cold, hard facts that give this tiny treasure its physical identity. Denomination, 5 cents. Composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, copper nickel. Diameter, 19.41 millimeters. Thickness, 1.30 millimeters. Weight, 2.83 grams. Edge, reeded. Mint, Royal Australian Mint. Finish, circulation strike, but higher value examples are found in mint sets or exceptional grades. In terms of mintage, approximately 70.5 million 5-cent coins were produced in 2008, making it a moderately minted year, not the lowest, but far from the most common. What matters, however, is survival in top condition. The vast majority of these coins entered daily circulation and quickly suffered scratches, dings, and surface degradation. But when you hold on to a 2008 5-cent coin in excellent condition, with minimal wear, high-definition strike, and that unmistakable silvery luster, you're holding a premium-grade survivor in a sea of forgotten pocket change. And here's where the excitement really begins, because in the last few years, error collectors and modern coin investors have zeroed in on this coin. Several rare minting errors from 2008 have surfaced, including broad strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, and even the occasional clipped planchet. These variations, often unrecognized by casual spenders, are fetching anywhere from $50 to $300 Australian dollars, depending on the severity and visibility of the flaw. That's an extraordinary leap from face value, and a clear indication that something special is happening with this particular year. But even a non-error 2008 5-cent coin in exceptional circulated condition can demand real attention from collectors. The standard market price for a coin in very good to excellent condition sits between $1 and $5 Australian dollars, with some mint state examples reaching $15 to $30 Australian dollars, especially when sold through collector channels, auctions, or online marketplaces. Proof and mint set coins from 2008, especially those housed in official Royal Australian Mint packaging, can reach even higher, sometimes selling for $50 to $80 depending on condition and demand. Why this surge in value? It comes down to collector psychology and economic trend lines. As digital payments reduce the circulation of physical coins, especially lower denominations like 5 cents, these pieces become increasingly rare. With the cost of production now exceeding face value, many speculate that the 5-cent coin could be phased out entirely in the coming years. That looming scarcity has sent collectors rushing to secure pristine examples before it's too late. And because most people overlook these coins, very few high-quality specimens remain in public hands, giving the 2008 issue a major collector advantage. Let's not forget the sentimental factor. For many Australians, the coins of the 2000s represent a cherished era of school canteens, first jobs, and simpler times. The 2008 coin, carrying both tradition and transition, symbolizes a decade of national growth and global change. That emotional connection adds weight to its value, because in numismatics, history and heart go hand in hand. Final thought, the 2008 Australian 5-cent coin, in excellent condition, may not scream wealth at first glance. But within its small, silver frame lies a story of artistic mastery, minting precision, rising collector demand, and growing rarity. It's a coin with quiet power, perfect for those who know how to look beyond face value and see future potential. Whether you're holding a standard issue or a rare error, this is a coin that could one day reward you with far more than its weight in metal. In the evolving world of Australian currency, the humble 5-cent piece is no longer an afterthought. It's a rising star. And the 2008 edition might just be your next millionaire maker in disguise.